So this is the start of week 9, and what you're going to notice is that we're in a different location. We're not at the desk, we're at the gym. And in week 9, we're not talking about lifting weights, we're talking about charisma. How does this make any sense? You might be thinking, Casey, this makes absolutely no sense. Why are you in a gym? Why did you change up the scene on us? Why is it that you're talking about dating and brainwashing and masculinity, and why is there all these different topics? Because fellas, what you need to realize is that all of this is related. Now this week, in week 9 specifically, we're going to be talking about charisma, okay? Because charisma is one of those things that all men want. Men want wild charisma. Men want the ability to open a woman right away, wherever they're at, and have the ability to be in total control of the entire situation 24/7, meaning that they know exactly where they're at in the interaction. They know exactly how to make sure she stays attracted, and they know exactly how to make sure that they come from a standpoint of high value. Now here's the issue. The issue with charisma and with opening is that many men think that some men have it and some just don't. And that's not the case at all. The fact is that nobody's born with anything. Charisma is something that you form. Charisma is something that you form by putting yourself in these interactions. Now guess what? What I'm going to be teaching you throughout this entire week in week 9 is that the first 30 seconds to a minute with any woman is always going to be the most challenging. Where do guys typically psych themselves out at when it comes to women? It comes in that first 30 to 90 seconds. And the reason for that is because the brain starts to take over. The brain says, hey, we shouldn't approach. Hey, we're not ready. Hey, we haven't done enough masculinity training. Hey, we're not good enough. The brain is going to hold you back 24/7. What you have to understand about charisma is it's not something that you can just turn on. It's something that's forged. It's something that's fortified. It's something that's built over time. Just like if you were in the gym, rep by rep. You don't build a wide back by doing one single pull-up. And you also don't build a wide back by just being born with it. You build a wide back by getting to the pull-up bar week after week after week and doing the pull-ups. It's forged, it's fortified. How do you build a strong chest? You get under the barbell and you bench week by week by week. It's the build-up. It's the fortification. What you're going to realize in week 9 is that I'm going to be teaching you how to open a woman in any way, shape, and form, any way possible. We're going to be speaking about parties. We're going to be speaking about bars, about clubs, about on the streets, maybe coffee shops, maybe malls. How can you be the charismatic man that can attract women? Well, fellas, what you're going to realize when it comes to this week is that we need to get used to putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations. Because just as it's very, very intimidating and very hard to hit a new bench press PR, a new bench press record, to build the chest, to build the strength, what you're going to realize is that the only way you build this charisma, the only way you build the ability to be totally confident and comfortable in your skin and walk up to any woman and say whatever you would like to hook her and to keep her engaged and to make sure she's interested in you is you do it rep by rep. You do it day by day. What you practice is what you manifest. What you practice is what you get good at. What you believe you can do is typically replicated through action. And if you can see yourself doing this, if you can envision this, what this might look like, what this might feel like, well, it's all of a sudden not so scary. I'm going to show you how to do this in places that you frequent. I'm going to show you how to do this in places that you've never been. I'm also going to show you how to do this at any bar or any club, so that way, no matter where you're at on the streets, you have the ability to do this. But what you have to realize is that this charisma is forged. Okay, it's fortified. It's something that you do rep by rep, just like if you were in the gym, just like if you were trying to train for anything. If you're training for a marathon, you're training for a sprint, you're training to build the bench press. What you're training to do is you're training to take your body to the next level. The only way to build the charisma is we have to do this rep by rep every single day. And I'm very excited to introduce you guys to week 9's training. Hi everybody, welcome to the action items within week 9. This is where you have established your masculine charisma, okay? So this is the step-by-step process I need you to do by week 9. If you're at week 9, you need to open 2 new people every single day. Keep in mind, this can be men or women. This can be people young or old. This is anybody who you are able to spark a quick conversation with. You need to get used to being very dynamic and very fluent with your speech. Charisma is built. It's not a born with it kind of thing. By this point, you should be talking to everyone to start to brighten your day as well as theirs. Men oftentimes, fellas, they tend to forget that charisma only comes when you are truly happy with yourself. And oftentimes the way to become happy with yourself is to show that you're getting a positive response from others. So open 2 new people every single day. Number 2, I need you to mentally and physically develop your own brand recognition. Okay, you need to have a certain aura about yourself that you live by because you are unique and you make no apologies. Confidence is internalized when you don't try to be cool and you don't try to be anything that makes you chase somebody else. Your brand recognition is your style. Okay, let's compare something. If McDonald's makes $1 billion a year and Nike makes $1 billion a year, and I'm just pulling this out of my ass, like there's no logic or rational behind this. I don't know how much each company makes. Which company's better? Well, technically they're both the same. But the fact is that McDonald's brand recognition is cheeseburgers and Nike's brand recognition is shoes. Yet they're both very successful. Which means if you're in this program, you have to understand that your version of masculine frame needs to represent you. It needs to represent how you walk, how you talk, how you act, how you dress. It needs to be something you're completely comfortable with. And not only that, you need to take pride in your self-care. Number 3, I need you guys every day to plan time daily in your journal to work on the product and the pitch. Okay, just as gym time and business time is structured, so is charisma time and fun time. It needs to both work synergistically to keep you balanced. So plan tomorrow today is a requirement. This should only take 30 minutes a day to plan out your day. And I need you to pencil in your designated time where you actually turn off your rational brain, whether that be from work or from working out, and you go have fun and you be social and you're in social mode. And when you're in social mode, it is a different sort of masculine frame than it is when you're at work. When you're at work, you're driven, right? When you're at the gym, you're motivated. When you're in your masculine frame socially or with women, essentially this is when you turn on your ability to have that swag and that edge to you, right? To say the risky thing, to flirt and to be sarcastic, to not take people too seriously. And that's your time to essentially quote unquote let loose. And when guys have this fine balance, they crush it within their dating and within their sex lives.
Hi everybody, in this module, we're going to be talking about the businessman versus the marketer. Now, for some of you, this probably isn't going to make sense, but when you hear me start to talk about this, this is going to make perfect sense. Now, what this is right here is this is an analogy, okay? Like if you want me to put this into real life terms, the businessman, what this is this is the product, which is aka you, and the marketer is going to be the game. Okay, this is going to be the tactics. This is going to be the guy that's worried about his game, his verbals, his tactics. Now, here's the thing. If you have a really good product, it can sell itself. But that doesn't mean that you can't have no salesman skills at all. Let's dive into this. So, the marketer. When you have the marketer, this is a salesman. This is a guy focusing on the game. He's focused on the sales pitch. He's focused on how can he say the right words in the right demeanor, in the right phrases, in the right paragraphs to evoke the right type of emotional response out of the woman to get what he wants. This is the exact same as a marketer that's focusing on the words or verbiage to sell a product. Now get this. A salesman might have to try 5 different sales pitches to sell the exact same product. If he's selling a Ford F-150, he maybe will have to sell this Ford F-150 5 different ways. You know, maybe on the first sales pitch, he talks about the interior and the heated steering wheel. Maybe his other sales pitch, he starts to talk about all of the benefits of the fuel mileage that they're going to save because it does good on gas. Like he can word this however he needs to sell the exact same thing. What I'm trying to get you to realize is that when you're selling yourself, Okay, and eventually you want to make it so that way the girl's actually selling her on you. But in the beginning, when you're on that initial approach and you're making a very good impression, you got to realize that you can say different things, but at the end of the day, the product is still the same. Now, here's the thing. As you go through this, one may work better. Okay, but he's still selling the same product. You're still selling you. You're still using game, but the thing is like, you know, you can do it in different types of ways. Now, let me show you what I mean by this. So this is the marketer. And over here is going to be the businessman. Let's go BM. So when you're doing this, this is where you're going to be focusing in on the approach with the woman. Okay? And you got to realize your own benefits as a man. Because the benefits that you're holding are the exact benefits that you're going to want to be displaying to her. You got to understand this. When somebody buys something, they're only buying because of the benefits. What is this going to do for them? For example, why did you buy this course? Well, you bought this course because you thought it would A, help you with women. B, it's going to help you brainwash women so they don't pull back. C, it's going to make it so you can have a happier, healthier dating life. D, for some of you, it's being the chooser so you can have your pick of the litter. Okay, these are all the benefits that this masculinity blueprint did for you that made you want to pull out your credit card. What are the benefits that you have as a man that you can show this woman? Exact same thing. This is also going to be the words. So this is your verbal. Okay, is your sales pitch dialed in? And when I say dialed in, are you constantly saying ums and ands and ors and is this a fluent sales pitch or are you constantly saying ums? Okay, the marketer is stacking up. Like he's making sure he's full stack. That there's no chink in the armor. The verbals are on point. And then when he asks for the close can be the credit card number, in my case to you, or in his case to her. This is going to be, when he asks for the number, or he asks for the date, or they're back at his house and he wants to have sex. Okay, he can only get these when his pitch is dialed in. Okay, and this is the marketer. That's the salesman. Now, here's the flaws that the marketer has. He's a great promoter, okay? And you're going to see a lot of guys who, this is the guy who goes to the bar a lot, and he's good at pulling women for one-night stands or something like that, but he can never necessarily get a girlfriend. It's because they don't view him anything more than casually. He's a great promoter, but the product is often shit. Well, what's the product? The product is himself. Is he overweight? Does he have a bad job? Does he have bad focus? Is he not an attractive partner? Does he have attractive traits? You got to realize results can be hit or miss depending on when he hits a good pitch. Like, you're going to notice that. And guys who are into sales too, you guys are probably going to notice you've had a downturn on sales sometimes. Sometimes you don't sell anything for 3-4 days. You're like, what the hell? Other times you're selling things left and right and you're on fire. Now, here's the thing. The flaws of this marketer is that, he can set a sale, meaning like he can get sex, he can get the date, he can get the phone number by using the right words, the right seduction, the right finesse. But the women just don't desire him. When they close their eyes and they think about a celebrity, okay, when they think about Tiger Woods or Drake or Leonardo DiCaprio, or maybe a football player or a successful businessman, she just has internal desire for him. And that's why a lot of times I want you guys to work on your product. This is where, when I brought up the Louis V method, okay, remember? I said I want you guys to be Louis V. Because Louis V sells itself. There is no sales pitch. Same with Lamborghini, same with Mercedes, same with BMW. There's a standard of excellence. Okay, and this is how you have to be as a man. You want your brand recognition, which is you, to be premium. Now, here's the deal. if you look at the businessman, this is the guy who's focused on the product. And this man is typically often a little bit arrogant because he can be, right? He's developed a good product. He has success. You're a successful man. If you have your weight under control, you're going to the gym, you are career focused, you're doing masculine type traits, masculine behavior, like, you know you're a good man then. You know you have a good product. This is why you can come off cocky or arrogant, or you can just ask the girls whatever you want out of them. It's because you don't care. Now, you're industry leading because, like, that refund rate is usually less than 1%. Think about it. How often does somebody go buy a Louis Vuitton bag and they try to refund it? Like, never. You're not going to have someone go try to refund Louis Vuitton. Like, that girl knew what she was buying as soon as she walked into the store. However, if you have just some random clothing or a random purse, well, women are going to refund that all the time. Why? Because they were sold on it in the beginning, but they're not necessarily sold on it all the time. Now, it's because they're not industry leading. And yeah, like, I'm making an analogy here. Work with me a little bit. Try to think about this from both sides. And you took time to build this. The businessman took time to build it. He took time to build himself in the gym. He took time to build the fucking money. He took time to build the morals. He took time to build the nice fancy house so he can live comfortably. Okay, he has value here. And because he has value, he's probably a little bit arrogant and he probably has a little bit of standoffish attitude, but that's because he's worked hard for himself. Now, here's the thing. This businessman's all about this product. So here's the thing. Here's what you got to realize, fellas. Like, you are the product. This is you. Okay? You got to go to the gym. You need to be working on your career. You need it. Like, here's the other thing too. Fat. If you're fat, you need to get this under control ASAP. There's no room for you to be fat. If you type in the picture of a fat man, what are you going to see here? You're going to see a guy who has high amounts of body fat, which signals to a woman that this guy has high amounts of estrogen, because estrogen is it's a female hormone. The more fat you have, the more estrogen you have. This guy has man boobs. This guy is shaped like this. You got to realize, look, this guy has an hourglass figure. This is a feminine looking man. Now, if you look at a guy who's shredded, you got to realize, like, look, obviously you guys aren't going to be bodybuilder status here, but, like, here's a normal looking dude. Look at that. Tapered waist, lean, decent shoulders, wide, strong shoulders. He looks muscular. He looks fit. What is that going to signal to her? That's going to signal reproduction. That's going to signal physical fitness. That's going to signal attractiveness. You cannot be fat. You're not going to bring your best self forward. That's like if you're like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be the BMW or do you want to be the Honda Civic? Because remember, I'm looking at you like a car. We said this in week 1. I need peak performance on this bitch. That way when we try to go to sell your ass, when we put your ass right on the store market here, when the marketer tries to sell Louis V and the sales pitch is dialed into a T, meaning you have good game, you understand how to evoke emotion out of her, this is watertight then because you spent time building your product. Your product is industry leading because you've put all of this time into yourself. Yeah, this takes months. Yeah, this takes years. I get this is a 12-week course. Dude, your masculinity journey and like the ability to brainwash women or hook a woman into love forever, you got to make sure that you have this on point 24/7. There ain't no room to slack. Here's the thing though. Just as this man has flaws, like he can get what he wants, but his product, which is him, is oftentimes shit. Guess what? This man has flaws too. Because here's the thing, he has masculine drive and ambition, which makes him super attractive. But here's what happens with his flaws. He oftentimes gets so work focused, he uses it as an excuse to never take action with women. You see this with guys a lot of times. They get so focused in work, they're just like, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready to approach her. I still got to work on my masculine energy. And he oftentimes is trapped in his own head thinking that his product is never good enough. And guess what? Because of this is the worst. He loses social skills because he's all about the work. Here's what I mean by this one. When you get a guy that's so work focused and what he does is he has a void with women. And because he has this void with women, he uses work as an excuse to never actually take action and get the girls he wants. So if he makes $100K a year, he's going to tell himself, oh, I'm not worthy of a woman. I got to make I got to make 1 million. Then I'll be ready. If he's 10% body fat and still has like some visible ab definition, he'll tell himself, oh, I got to get to 6% body fat and then I'll have the confidence. Then I'll look like I'm ready to fuck a girl or have sex with a girl or meet a woman. If he does anything, if he's like an executive at his office, he'll tell himself, oh, I got to get to the level where I'm CEO. And now all of a sudden these women will come to me. The thing is what he does is he uses work to fill this void to never take action with women. Because this man over here, all he wants is he wants a woman. This is all he wants. He wants a girl. And where the marketer will just go and get the girl, he'll just do what he has to do to finesse the girl. And the thing is the marketer envies this guy. But the businessman envies this guy because the promoter has what the businessman wants, which is the end result, the credit card number, the woman, the sex, whatever. Like this businessman's flaws is oftentimes because he's making an excuse to never take action. And what all of this is this is great. Don't get me wrong, this is great. I chase it too. I chase the dream. I want the dream. I want to make men great again. I want to have my own company with Blueprint. I want to help other people with different mastermind groups. And I have all this shit I want to do. It's great. But guess what? That doesn't mean that I can't just neglect the fact that I still need social skills. That doesn't neglect the fact that I still have to realize that I have to buck up and not make excuses. Because the thing is it's very easy to just get caught in the trap of work and say, oh, I'm not ready yet. I don't have enough confidence yet. The thing is fellas, you got to realize this. You can here's the thing. Mike, if you're watching this right now, Mike Tadlock, you guys probably don't know Mike Tadlock, but he is in Blueprint. If you guys ever want to message him, it's probably rude that I'm making an example of him out of this, but I don't think he'll care because I talk to him a lot. So Mike's an anesthesiologist, and Mike probably makes like $1 million a year. Okay, because Mike does well for himself. But here's the thing. When Mike came to me, Mike was still having all of these issues with women. All of them. Why is it? It's because he didn't understand female dynamic. He didn't understand what females are attracted to. So when he was getting dumped, when he was playing the nice guy card, it's because he didn't understand female dynamic. Even though he was a perfect fit and he worked on himself in med school and everything, he couldn't get it done. The businessman has flaws too. He's all about the work and he loses his social skills. The promoter has flaws too. Because guess what? He can get what he wants with women, but the problem is that he oftentimes can't make women stay with him, or he doesn't have anything going for himself as a man in life. You got to have both, okay? The product and the pitch have to go hand in hand. It's 50-50. So here's what I don't want you to do. I do not want you to spend 2 years building the abs and the income and the amazing life and then still be stuck because you never would approach or you lost your social skills. Many times people have great products that don't sell, and many times people sell a lot of a terrible product. Read this 5 times over. I'll do it with you. Many times people have great products that don't sell. What does this mean? This means this is the guy who makes $1 million a year and is ripped and is sexy looking and is amazing, and he still can't speak to women. He still can't get women. He doesn't feel sure of himself. And then there's many times that people sell a lot of a terrible product. There's a lot of guys that are overweight. They go to the bar, they still have sex with women, they get all the women, but they have nothing to them as a man. You got to realize it's 50-50. Okay? Directly down the middle. So what I'm saying is that the work is equally important as the promoter. Okay, the product is equally as important as selling. This is a 50-50 split. If you have a great product, you better make damn sure you can sell it. And if you're selling it, you better make damn sure it's a good product because you do not want a refund rate. That's all I'm saying. Okay, if you can understand that and apply it to yourself, you have to have both. You have to be the guy who has built himself as a man, but a guy who can still finesse the women and use that words and that mouth, because it goes hand in hand. Hi everybody, today I'm going to be discussing working on the product. Now, like I just said at the beginning of week 1 as well, you probably remember this, I've always said this is the constant theme throughout Blueprint. I'm looking at you like a car. Okay, the better performing parts, the better performance parts we can get on you, the faster you're going to excel when it comes to women. The faster you're going to excel when it comes to your dating life. Now, all the men out there want to brainwash her into love, but they don't do anything to make themselves more valuable. And remember, find value. Women find value attractive in a man. And since women find value very attractive, what that means is you have to increase your status overall. The saying, by Ronnie Coleman, the bodybuilder, he goes, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift no heavy ass weight. Okay, that's so true. It's like everybody wants to be a wolf, but nobody wants to do wolf shit. Everybody wants to brainwash her into love, but no man wants to go out there and build the man and increase his value as a male. So the thing is you got to remember, women find value attractive in a male, not just how he looks. It's not like women. You got to always be working on the product. So you remember how I told you originally it's much easier to sell Louis Vuitton or Nike Air Force Ones or a Corvette? Okay, you think these companies need good salesmen for a pitch? The answer is no. And this is why I'm not a fan of pickup artistry. Now, within Blueprint, I do plan on putting in some sort of videos or modules where I actually go out and I speak to women and I approach and I show you guys how I do it. But guess what? The product still speaks for itself. In all of these situations, the product speaks for itself. Air Force Ones are known as a great shoe. Okay? Like the Corvette is known as a performance car. You have to be known as a performance man. Now, when you add game to an already perfect product, it's like sexual attraction on steroids. What that means is when you do it, when you have a good pitch, like when you're good at speaking to women and you're the Corvette, oh my God, that's like bread and butter. That's peanut butter to jelly. So you need to start to make time for everything. And after the slideshow presentation, I'm going to be linking you to a video directly through this video, exactly how to do this. So when it comes to working on the product, what you have to do is you have to plan tomorrow today. Okay, you have to buy a journal. Do not go to bed until you have everything planned for tomorrow's tasks, hour for hour each day. So, for example, if today is February 19th, that means last night, February 18th, when I went to bed, I planned all of the tasks hour for hour that I was going to do today. And you've got to do this 7 days a week. Plan out what you're doing at work. Plan out what you're doing in the gym. Plan out when you're going to go on that date with that cute girl, okay? Do not let your head hit the pillow until you map it all out. This is ridiculously important. Now, working on the product, when you plan tomorrow today, guess what? Every time your head says, hey, I don't have time for this, I don't have time to go to the gym, I don't have time to work on my product, whatever, you got to create the time. And every time your head says, hey, I don't have money right now to do this, we got to just go get that money. And every time your head says, hey, I'm fat or I'm shy or I'm introverted or whatever, we got to make time to conquer that problem. What I want you to realize, fellas, is that nothing is fixed. This is so key. Nothing is fixed. Meaning that you can be whatever you want to be. You can say whatever you want to be. The whole thing is that you got to reprogram your identity to believe that you are what you say and what you think you are. Super key. Now, if you can do this, you're going to end up conquering any problem that you run into, but you have to make that time to work on the product. So book yourself out 5 to 6 days a week. Okay, just book yourself out. And you will end up being so masculine, so militant, so dedicated that the easiest thing will be to let loose for 30 minutes and go ask that chick for a number. Okay, so just get used to doing hard shit. If you're a guy who's getting used to doing hard shit, like this is hard shit. It's hard to go to the gym. It's hard to make the time for all this stuff. Dude, getting the chick's number is the easy part. That's the easy part. So take a full year and be trained and be disciplined. Like do everything that you've always wanted to do. Put 20 pounds of muscle this year on your frame. or push to that next financial goal, or grow that business you've always wanted to, or read more books, or develop the social circle. Because 1% mind people are leaders and they get whatever they want. So what you're going to see now is I'm going to show you exactly how I plan tomorrow, today, to constantly stay working on my product 24/7. Now, one of the things that you guys have to do if you take anything away from this video, the key to constant success in life is planning and self-realization, which is exactly why you need to plan tomorrow today. What that means is every single night when I go to bed, right on my desk, what I do is I look over, I grab my notebook, and at 11 o'clock or midnight or anything like that, or whatever time I go to bed, sometimes it's 1, I plan the next day. Now, I'm not like a super early riser because I work late into the nights a lot of times. I like to wake up at about 8 o'clock and start my day then. I usually go to bed around midnight or 1. Now, I do this every day. So what I do is the top is always the date. The top, I have the bullet points of exactly what I have to do today. So like, for example, today it's vlog, morning routine, edit and post the vlog that I'm doing for you guys today. I have to tweak some of my advertisements that I'm running. I have to make all of my slides and presentation for my week 7 blueprint course that I'm coming out with for all the current clients. And then I have a call at 9 a.m. with a client, Brazian. I have a call at noon with a potential prospect, Brittany. And then I have a call with client Mike T at 4 p.m. So what you have to do is, like I'm telling you guys, you have to do this. If you do not plan exactly what you're going to do, you will never get ahead. And then also what I do in the top is I say my cash made. I want to know exactly how much I'm making every single day, and I have target goals. Now, if you do this every single day, what's going to happen is you're going to turn into a new beast and a new animal, because then what comes down here is the journal. From the journal, I talk about what I'm going through that day, and then I talk about everything that I want to improve on in fitness, in business, with God, and with love. And if you can do this, my gosh, you're going to turn into one hell of a beast. Let me explain why. If you realize certain things about you, let's say you think that you're broke and you want to figure out how to make more money, you need to be documenting that every single day. You need to have goals. You need to set them. You need to plan tomorrow, today. Write that down in if you take anything away from this video, plan tomorrow, today. Tomorrow, like when I go to bed tonight, this next white page of paper will be planned for tomorrow. That way, when I wake up, I have a plan. I can get maximum amount of work done. And for a guy like me that likes to work 10, 12, 13 hours a day, I have to make sure that all of this is dialed in. I have to make sure my body's in check or my mind doesn't perform right for work. I have to make sure my mind performs right or I don't make money. That's the thing, is if you guys want to escape the typical traps that a lot of men falling into of Groundhog's Day, you have to be aware of yourself, of what you have to do to get out of it. Now, when it comes to things like women, for those of you that struggle in your love lives, what you have to do is you have to journal. You have to journal and you have to set those goals. You say, I'm very shy and I'm very awkward. Like, this is part of journaling with self-realization. I'm shy, I'm awkward, I need to assert myself and develop my masculinity. You start to write that down. You put a goal right below that. You say, in my love life, tomorrow I will say hi to one new stranger, or I will just at minimum say hi to one new woman. Okay, something like that, something very minimal, something tangible. If you see this realization, what happens is that you can actually start to develop what you would like to be, but it all comes with planning. Now, there's some people that don't like to talk about money. If you're on my channel, I will always talk about money because it is important to get your goddamn money right. I can't stress that enough. One of the biggest fears and insecurities for men is being broke. If you can just own that and accept it and start to speak about money so that way you can educate yourself on it and it can be a thing and a resource that you can make and you can make happen, it's going to improve your life tenfold. Not only do you have that confidence and that self-security, but you also feel like you have more value in the world. And what I've said in a lot of my earlier videos, I'm a big believer in this. I want all of you guys to try to bank 2 years of rent. That does something to you. Bank 2 years of rent, all expenses. Bank 2 years of grocery bills, 2 years of rent, 2 years of car payments, 2 years of car insurance, or if you have a mortgage, bank 2 years of that mortgage. Figure out how to do it.
The reason for that is because when your head hits the pillow at night, you're going to be a hell of a lot more relaxed. You're going to be a hell of a lot more clear-cut and focused. If you can figure out how to actually stack some cash so that way you have some buying power to breathe and let your guard down, that does something to your head. You start to feel confident and secure in yourself. So I want you guys to be a full stack man. When you're on retention, when you're doing NoFap, any of these things, they're small bits of self-improvement, yes. You're educating yourself to becoming better, yes. But it's all about what you do with it. If you want to take it to the next level, the next step, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to start planning tomorrow, today. You're going to have to start putting actual thoughts into moves and into action. And you're going to have to start to actually build the body so that way you can have a stronger mind. This all ties in together. I don't know why dating coaches or masculinity coaches don't talk about this, because like, you got to be full stack. Full stack is the only way to live. I don't want any lagging part of my life. So I advise you to do the same.
Hi everybody. Now, through the rest of this week and the rest of these modules, what we're going to be touching on a lot is working on the marketing, working on the charisma, working on the man, and the man's verbal skills. Why are we doing that? Because here's the thing. I can only tell you to do the work so much. I can only tell you to go to the gym so much. I can only tell you to build the business so much, or to do better with the career or anything like that. But that all takes time. Like, it takes a lot of time. And it doesn't mean that you can't get girls along the way. It doesn't mean like you have to reach the destination first. You know, I was talking to one of the Blueprint members during the Q&A today, and he goes, well, I feel like I have to hit like a semen retention streak of like 180 days and then I'll be ready. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You're always ready as long as you're putting in the work, and women will appreciate you as long as you're going somewhere. So the charisma. Here's the thing, fellas. Charisma cannot be taught. You're going to get a lot of people that are game influencers. You're going to get a lot of people that are pickup artists, and they're going to give you the magic sauce and the magic secret to charisma. It doesn't exist. Here's why it doesn't exist. Because you have not actually put it to use. And guess what? You're ready to approach and dial in the pitch when you tell yourself you are. So here's the thing. Charisma is a muscle. Charisma is not a switch where you get to learn something and then turn it on. Charisma is a muscle. Just as if you are using your chest to bench press, and the more that you bench press, the bigger your chest and upper body gets and you feel big and strong. Charisma is a muscle too. It needs to be exercised, it needs to be flexed, it needs to be progressively overloaded to keep developing. So when do you want to work on this charisma? Well, you work on this charisma when you want to go work on it. And you should be working on this every day. Just like you're working on your fitness when you step into the gym, you're going to be working on your charisma every single time you interact with somebody. Now, when you interact with women and go for the close or the phone number, what you got to remember is that it doesn't matter how well your charisma is. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can be the smoothest talking son of a bitch out there. You can be James Bond. James Bond is still going to get hit with some resistance sometimes. You have to expect resistance. The reason why women resist you is because they want to, I hope you know what I'm about to write here, they want to test you. Why do they want to test you? Because they want to see if you have the know-how and the skill set and the balls to get out of it. Okay, it's just like sales, fellas. If any of you are in sales in this course, car sales or shoe sales or anything, you know that pushing past the objections is just part of the game. But guess what? Pushing past objections is game. Pushing past the objections is the masculine energy. There is no one magic line you can just learn or rehearse and you're going to know what to say to her. You have to push past the objections. If she says, no, I don't like to give my phone number out to strangers, you gotta get more information from her. Figure out why you still seem like a stranger. You gotta say, well, hey, even though we just met, I mean, don't you think that we would get along good? Don't you think that it's in your best interest that if a guy walks up to you and it seems like you and him have great chemistry, wouldn't it be in your best interest to want to have a fun time with him as well? Like, I feel like this is a win-win for both of us. Okay, you have to push past the objection. Okay, if you're in sales, do you know how many times sometimes I have to ask for the credit card before I can actually get somebody to enroll in Blueprint? And then you know what happens? When they get into Blueprint, they go, "Oh, I'm so glad you pushed me to do that. This was the best decision of my life." Why was it the best decision of their life? Why was it the best decision of their life? It's because I put them in a spot where they were a little bit uncomfortable, they were unsure of themselves, and they're glad they did it anyways. And when you can do that and your product is good, well, all of a sudden your marketing is on point now, your words are on point because you know that you're a man who's ready. So if you have a lot going for yourself and you start to develop yourself, guess what? She's going to love being with you. And that's where even if she says no right away, you push past that objection. You say, well, why? What would be the reasoning for that? If she says, well, I just don't know about you yet, you say, well, what don't you know about me? Okay, because you tell that straight up. You say, well, there's information that I don't understand somewhere. You say, what's going on? You push past it. You push past the objection. I want you guys to write this down and remember this at all times. Getting a no from a woman means that you need to know more info. You have to figure out why she's saying no. Getting a no doesn't mean fucking give up. Okay? It does not mean give up. Because here's what people do. Like, oh, this pisses me off. Here's the bar of the woman that they want right here. Bar. Like, oh, you set the bar high. Notice the bar is way up here on the little fucking awboard.com, whatever the hell I use. Bar's up high. They get one no from her. No, no number, no date. What do? They just drop the bar way the fuck down here and settle. Now you're having sex with a 6 out of 10 and you hate your life eventually. And now your bar and your standards low. What does no mean to her? Like, what does no mean? If a girl says no, why is she saying no? Is it bad timing? Does she have a boyfriend? Does she think you're unattractive? Does she think that you guys might not get along? Dude, push. Push. I'm going to say it one more time. Push. Dig. The best pickup artist in the world will still get a no. The best negotiator in the world for business will still get a no. When you realize that you need to know more information, when you get a no, you will now win. Because here's the thing, you got to ask her, why wouldn't you want to go on a date? Why wouldn't you want to give me your number? Why wouldn't you want to go to a movie Saturday? Why? Why? Push. It doesn't make you needy. It makes you deserving of what you want. There's so many guys that withdraw the offer right away because they don't want to seem too needy. Dude, what happened about standing up for what you believe in? What happened? What happened to wanting this bar way up here and not settling for anything less? Remember, I told you guys what settle down means. Okay, settle down. Fuck that. I want you guys to settle up. Okay, settle up. Settle up. Don't settle down just because you get a no. Push. It means push harder. Work harder. You know, like you need to dig. If she says, no, I don't want to go on a date, or I don't want to give you the number, you say, Kayla, there's really only 2 reasons you wouldn't want to give me your number. Either A, you maybe think I'm a player, or B, maybe you don't think we'll get along. So which is it? Like, what's going on, Kayla? Why? You need to dig. I'm telling you, he who digs is he who wins. You know that guy on the football team or the guy on the hockey team that's just a fucking grinder? Like, doesn't matter how low the score is, he always thinks he has a fighting chance of winning. He who digs is he who wins. Period. You need to work on the product and the marketing. It will always be 50-50. Dude, even if your product's good, like, you ever see when, like, Aaron Andrews kisses 50 Cent? Maybe I can find this real quick for you guys. Like 50 just walks up to her, right? I'm gonna find this. Okay, here's Aaron Andrews in look at that. Look, she totally dodges him. You see him smile at the end. Do you think that guy gives a shit? What is 50 Cent's net worth? I mean, like, here this says he's worth at least 30 million. Okay, 50 Cent is this famous, successful rapper, and he's ripped, and he's like not a bad looking guy. And you see this here. Watch her. She's like, no, not doing that. Goodbye. It's like, dude, he who digs is he who wins. Do you think that hurt 50 Cent's ego? Absolutely not. Because he knows he's enough. It will never be 50-50. Push past the objections. Get good with your words, work on the marketing, and work on your product. That's point blank proven that even though he's built his product great, he did not approach her in the right way. He thought his product was just good enough for her to pull out her credit card right away. It doesn't work like that. You need both. You need the emotional too. This is why you got to learn how to wheel women, work women, like little fish on a fucking like fishing rod. Reel them in. It's 50-50 and it always will be. I don't know how else to put it. Like, this is the best analogy I can come up with. Hi everybody, in this module I'm going to be telling each and every one of you specifically how to get good at opening and why you need to get good at opening women. This is super key. So you got to realize this from the get-go. Realize that opening women or other people in general, whether it's males or females, like just because you're not sexually attracted to men doesn't mean that it's not hard to go ask a stranger for information in a direction or where's the nearest pizza shop, or like people, it's hard for people to open people, okay? Men and women. You got to realize this going into it. You got to just eventually submerge yourself in the fire. The first 30 seconds to 10 minutes is always the hardest. If she's a really hot girl, like the first 10 minutes of the date is always the hardest, right? Your nerves are going, she's beautiful. You're like, how do I not fuck it up? All that shit goes through your head. That's the hardest part, man. Get used to that. And you got to realize with women, it's a balance of building comfort with a total stranger and realizing that it's okay and normal. Like, this is what you're trying to do right here. Build comfort with total stranger. So your brain goes, well, total stranger, we don't need to be comfortable with her. What the fuck's the point? You got to realize that this is okay and normal. If you come from the standpoint that it's okay and normal, let's change this to teal. She is going to now feel like you're a guy who's used to doing this. Bing, bing, bing. And the only way to do this is for you to just start to be social. Social with everybody. Understand people don't care about you. They only care about themselves. This is going to help you tremendously because now if you know that people only care about themselves, you can start just weighing out the benefits of your interaction and try to help people. Now, here's what I mean by this. It's not about what you want, it's about what they want. The lady at the checkout, just greet her and smile and make her day. The janitor, the hot girl, the grandpa. Notice what's different about these. When it comes to the hot girl, all of a sudden the guy totally changes. So these guys up here, he's not going to have sex with the lady at the checkout who's 65 years old. He's also not sexually attracted to a janitor. He also ain't sexually attracted to his own grandpa. But now when it comes to here, now when it comes to the smoking hot girl, all of a sudden he freezes up. And now all of a sudden his voice is different, he acts weird. He's all of a sudden trying to get something from her, he's trying to get her number, he's trying to get her pussy, he's trying to get anything. Over here he was just genuine to everybody. Now down here he turns into a weirdo. You gotta realize people want to be stimulated with the right energy. And attraction is always killed or repelled by takers. If you're taking something from the interaction, people don't want to be taken by. This hot girl, like, she knows you want her sex, but if you come off from the standpoint that, oh, you just want to fuck her, and she feels like that, you're a taker. And if you're a taker, she's not going to be attracted to that. Yeah, everything in life's repelled by takers. Money's repelled by takers. Sex is repelled by takers. Anything. You have to learn how to figure out the benefits of what other people want. Now, the only way to do this is to do this in 3 steps. A, you have to be joyful. B, you have to be genuine. And number 3, you have to be honest at all times. When I say joyful, it's very straightforward. People like happy people. Like, that's all there is to it. If you're happy every day, whether you're under stress or not under stress, if you can smile at people and you can be joyful, because you got to know the saying by now. The saying is, I've seen people in prison smile and I've seen millionaires cry. If you haven't heard that, it's been a saying for a long time. Being joyful is strictly a decision. The second is going to be genuine. Now, you got to realize genuine people are few and far between nowadays because everybody has a hidden agenda. I want you guys to finally just be a man that doesn't. Be able to treat this one the exact same as all three, so there is no agenda. And if you can treat this one just like all three of these others, the panties on her are going to come off so fast, you're not even going to realize what just happened. Okay? Point blank, period. Everyone has a hidden agenda, so be the man that doesn't. Number 3 is honesty. Nobody is honest. Everybody beats around the bush. Okay, he would love to have a great interaction with her. But guess what? He's going to always come from the standpoint that he's a taker. He wants to try to get her number, hopefully have sex with her, or like, you know, he only likes her for her looks, and she can feel that, and then she just ditches him and goes next. It's like, what do you actually like me for? And nobody's honest. And then guess what? Let's say they do have some chemistry, you know, and he's real good with her all of a sudden, you know, then randomly all of a sudden it's like he's uncalibrated with how he's going to escalate sexually. And it's like, honesty is huge, because what most men try to do is they try to be a girl's friend, and they'll like think that means in her head that she's supposed to eventually want to have sex with you. It's like, it doesn't work like that. If you'd have been honest from the get-go and be like, damn, you're attractive. Okay, you genuinely are interested in her, and you came at it from a standpoint like a man, and you were being honest and not beating around the bush. Guess what? You would have probably just gotten what you wanted because you're honest and genuine. Remember, if you get a no, if you're doing all of these, you're being joyful, you're being genuine, and you're being honest, and you still get a no from anybody, even after you've shown them the benefits of what comes along with you, all that means you need to know more information. Dig. I do not want you guys just to take no for an answer and then be like, oh, all right, I'm done. I guess I'm shit. Dude, I still get no's. I still have women that tell me no, can't get a number. Well, why? Don't you think it would be fun if two really cute, attractive people met up? Like, to me, that seems like a no-brainer. Is there something wrong with you, girl? That's what I'm thinking. I may say that, I may not, but you need to know more information. Now, here's the steps to opening. And this is a little bit longer module here. Before we get into the steps, you have to know this when it comes to number 1 at all times. Number 1, fellas, don't shit where you eat. If this is a place that you frequent, do not force anything like the gym or school or work. Like, dude, if you're in a hurry to go speak to her right now while you're at work or while you're at the gym, like while she's mid-set, or like she's doing legs and you can tell she's in the middle of a workout, and let's say you go to the gym 5 days a week and you see her 3 out of the 5 days a week, dude, wait until the time is like prime. Timing is everything if it's a place that you frequent. Like, dude, you don't need to be going and interrupting her during her set or making a fool out of yourself and walking 25 yards across the fucking gym for a number. Get your ass to work. Now, here's the thing. It's a little different if she's in your vicinity. If she's in your vicinity and she's at like a rest period, okay, then poke fun at her for like being on her phone or something. Walk by her, say, hey, you can't make any gains sitting on your phone. You can't do that. You know, yeah, but just, what I'm saying is be calibrated. If you force it, it will come off unnatural. And like I said, if you're at the gym 5 days a week and you see the girl there every time, just use some common sense. Do not just walk up to her and interrupt and try to close her right then and there. You got to realize you got to make things flow. Women love flow. Women love chemistry. Women love feelings. Places you frequent, you need to make sure that you approach it in this way, where even if you attempt to close her and she doesn't necessarily want you to, or she has a boyfriend or something, you got to do it in a way where it will not make things awkward if you see her after. You say, oh, great, you got a boyfriend? Damn, didn't know. Well, hey, that's all right. You seem like a cool chick. Listen, if anything goes south between you and him, you know, maybe you might want to come around. I can't guarantee I'll be available then, but since it seems like we both have common interests and get along good, like I don't see why it would hurt. Right there, then, boom. completely not awkward at all. Now, every time you see her, you can say hi to her still, and it's not weird. So just don't shit where you eat. If you fuck it up real bad and you try to make a fool out of yourself, you're not even going to want to go to that gym anymore. Now, number 2, this is basically like number 1. So I might just call this like 1B. Fuck it, that'll ruin all of them. This is just 2. Now, what I want you to do is I need you guys to arouse the person in an eager want. What does that mean? Eager want. Figure out what the other person wants. Remember, if this is a stranger, they do not usually want to be stopped. You have to figure out what would arouse them. What would get them interested in you? You must arouse them in a way that makes them feel as if they want to talk with you. And people do not care about your desires. We know you want to have sex with her. We know you want her number. We know you're thirsty for ass and want to date. But she don't care. People don't care about your desires. People don't care about your hardships. You got to realize that. They only care about their own. So if they only care about their own, here's what you got to do. You just got to speak in their language a little bit. If you want her number, that's great. She doesn't care that you want her number, but I understand you want it, so I'm going to tell you how to get it. What can you give her so she actually wants to give it to you? Now this is the key. What can you do so she wants to give it to you? I'll say that again. What can you give her so she wants to give it to you? You got to realize we're reversing the roles here. Reverse the roles and figure out what people want. Arouse her in an eager want. If she's a girl, think about what would a girl would want in that moment. If she's at a party, a girl would probably just want to have fun and take a shot and then dance and shake her ass. Be that guy that she can shake her ass with. You have to understand you got to speak in these people's language depending on where they're at and what they're doing. Now, if this is a girl on the streets, you would say, hey, she probably wants a strong, masculine man who's attractive and who can approach her with some confidence. How can we convey that in a way that's warm and welcoming? Notice, we want her number, but we're not just going to walk up and say, hey, what's your number? The goal of the interaction is to give a good time. This is why we tease. This is why we smile. This is why we flirt. This is why we flirt with the idea of potentially meeting up, because the point of dating is the sheer fact. This is the point of dating. This is what you guys don't understand. The point of dating. Jesus, this is where our culture is going. Most people think that dating equals sex. Dating does not equal sex. The whole point of dating is to figure out if you guys are better together or if you would be better apart. If you're better apart, you don't see each other anymore. If you're better together, you stay 2 peas in a pod. If you stay 2 peas in the pod, chances are you're going to get a whole lot of this if you can convey the chemistry. You got to realize this. But you got to speak in an eager want. You got to speak in her language. So figure out how to give her a good time. Whether she's at the gym, whether she's at a party, whether she's out on the street, whether she's at a coffee shop, arouse her in an eager want. The next step. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Oftentimes when people approach, they start to talk about their baggage. They start to talk about their job or their work or their parents or anything negative. Like I said, you got to realize, especially your hardships, people don't care. So if you condemn or you criticize, people oftentimes will not respect you. Instead, ask the right questions that gets them to their own realization. Okay? What I mean by this is like, the realization, anytime you want something from somebody, you can't criticize them to get it. You can't come at them brash to get it. There's really nothing you can say or do with force. It's going to come off negative, and you definitely don't want to bring up any baggage about yourself. This is like a brief statement I want to make. It's just something I want to throw out there because I see this a lot. Oftentimes guys will just start talking, and some of the things that they say are negative. And if you associate a lot of negative things with yourself, you're not going to have very much success, and she's not going to view you in a happy manner. The next step, when you're in the interaction, make the interaction about them, not you. So many guys do this. They walk up, they start talking about themselves. They talk about where they go to school, where they work, what they're into. She doesn't care about you. Most people think, I want number, I want sex, me. What do I want? You got to realize if you can open her up to what she wants, this is a major key. After you get the name, in the first 30 seconds of chit chat, get the info that you need to about her. What do you like to do? Okay, you can make a statement like, I see you work out here a lot. I'm surprised you can make so many gains while on your phone. Okay, so right there, if you know what she likes to do, she likes to work out. You're teasing her about being on her phone during a set or during a workout. Okay, it's just little things. So, men, what you're doing is you're finding common ground with her through flirting to ask the right questions until you can evoke that emotional response. What does this mean? Think about this for a second. A lot of people say, hey, you shouldn't ask questions to women and you can't have 20 questions mode. That's true. You can't have 20 questions mode, but you're going to have to ask some questions to get some sort of emotional response, because how can you pinpoint something to flirt with if you don't ask questions? You know, if you say, what do you do for a living? That's a question. Most guys would go, oh no, don't say that. It puts you in logical mode. Yes, it's true. But guess what? If she says she's a dental hygienist, you tell her, oh, the last dental hygienist I was with was crazy. I hope they're not all the same. Are you crazy too? She can go, oh my God, why do you think I'm crazy? What happened with that other one? Okay. You're going to have to ask something to get some sort of emotional response. And you got to realize people love talking about themselves. They hate hearing about others. Okay, if a girl or if somebody asks me, what do you do for a living, Casey? And I say, I help men with their dating and masculinity. I do all of this stuff, and I see that they're genuinely interested in me. I would have a lot of fun with that because it seems like they care. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to be genuinely interested in her. Because most men, you got to realize this. Most men think, oh, you can't be genuinely interested in her. You got to be an asshole. And yes, women love assholes. But guess what? The asshole is oftentimes, too, the guy that can make chemistry with her. Okay? This asshole is not just like a 30-second bit. This is the guy that's the asshole when she gets to meet him for like 3, 4, 5 weeks or even months in a row, and then she finds out he's an asshole. Because in the beginning, everything was great. He was sweet, got to know her, but guess what? Couldn't make him commit. Maybe couldn't get him to stop seeing other women. Maybe he was a player. Okay, it doesn't mean he's not interested in her. I need you guys to be genuinely interested in people. If you're not genuinely interested in the woman, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get a relationship. You're not going to get sex. You're not going to get anything. The next step to opening is while you're speaking, smirk or smile. Like I said, most men are not happy, and people like happy people. Being masculine is not about being an aggressive grouch. Okay, it's about getting what you want and being in control of the outcome. But a smile says 1,000 words. Let me ask you, do you like if a woman smiles at you? The answer is yes. What about a baby? Have you ever seen a baby smile? How it can make all 6 people in the room smile? If a baby smiles, it's like, whoa, like this baby can do something. This baby has powers. Okay, a smile says everything. Next thing, remember her name. And honestly, anyone you can come in contact with, remember their name as well. Remember people's names. Because you got to realize most men are takers, not givers. And they will often not even remember her name because they're so focused on getting her sex or her number. And because of this energy, they come across not genuine. Now, I need you to remember her name and use it frequently, especially if it's a place that you frequent. Okay? If you get her name, and her name's Kayla, and then every time you're in the gym, you say, what's up, Kayla? How you doing? Okay, you say Kayla every time, she's going to say, oh, hey, Henry, hey, John, hey, Thomas. Well, guess what? Now you guys know each other. It seems like you know each other. You're on a name basis. Now, since most men are takers, they're just thinking about sex the whole time. They're not genuine. Because of this energy, they come across not genuine. They're so focused on the next thing, they're not even thinking about the person or the human. Remember her name. Remember people's names. Be present in the moment. Don't be thinking about the bed sheets. Don't be thinking about how nice it's going to be when you can turn around and ball up her hair and hit it from the back. Like, none of that. Because you won't get to any of that if you want it, if you can't do these things. And if someone remembers your name and says hi with your name in it and smiles at you, guess what? You're going to feel as if that's a nice person and you guys know each other. And you're probably going to be attracted to their energy. Number 7. Is this a duplicate? It's not a duplicate. We're continuing. This is my closing. I want you guys to ask only for what you want when you know she's ready to give it to you. Okay, if you did all these steps right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 6. Now you're at this last step here. You want the number. You gave a good interaction. You smiled. You built chemistry. You flirted with her. I want you guys to only ask for what you want when you know she's ready to give it to you. Right? This is where towards the end of the interaction, if you guys are at the gym and you want to get back to your lift, this is where you say, since we clearly get along so good, it would be fun if we both met up outside of the gym sometime. Guarantee you she's going to say, yeah, I agree. What's your number? What? Now she's coming to you. Now she's speaking to you. Now she's trying to get your digits. That's what you want. You got to realize nobody thinks this way. Nobody thinks this way every day when they wake up. How can I be happy? How can I be joyful? How can I be genuine? And how can I give an interaction that will help the other person even if I don't receive anything from it? This is the key. This is the key to women. This is the key to brainwashing them to love. This is the key to sales. This is the key to people. People want to be around happy people that are positive and that bring joy to their life. I swear to you. Hi everybody, welcome to this module titled Opening at Parties. This is a really big struggle for a lot of people because it's like they start to develop these social skills, they start to get an understanding of social calibration, and then what happens is like they get to a party or something and they don't know how to open in this particular setting. So let me help you out, because parties is a great place to meet people, and the nice thing about it is that everybody is basically there to have fun. But here's one of the things that I always see. I always see men who focus on ass and are dependent on the ass never actually get the ass. So like I said, the main theme throughout this course is like we're human focused. The only way to make sure we can get women that like us and that want to be with us is we're not actually just focused on the sex. And since we're not focused on the sex, we can now receive it. It's like the law of attraction. The law of attraction says that, if you want it and you desire it, but you need it, you oftentimes will not get it. Okay, so don't be dependent on the outcome. So now that you have been building the products, right? You've been going to the gym, you've been building up the man, you can now actually start to test the salesmanship a little bit. You can start to test your game, your finesse, your flirtatiousness. And parties are the best spot. Everybody's there for a good time. And like I said in the past module, you have to learn how to actually give a good time. If you can learn how to give a good time, my oh my, are you in good hands. Now, if you give her and the people around you an amazing experience by being the guy that's social and just likes to talk to people and smile and have a good time, this is what you must focus on. Ask yourself in every setting, in every single interaction, say, how can I make these people today have the most fun? How can I be the guy here that makes everybody have the most fun? How do you do this? You talk to everybody. You talk to him, you talk to her, you talk to them, you talk to us, you talk to we. All of these things you should be experiencing throughout the night. We, this is the group that we made. Us, come see us. Look at them over there. Let's talk to them. They seem like they're interesting. Him, her, okay? Make sure that you can just be a person that's social. If you see a woman you like and a woman that you want to get to know, chances are she will be with friends, okay? People don't go to parties alone. If they do, they're usually kind of weird. I shouldn't say that. You maybe go to parties alone. You're not weird. I love you. If you're in Blueprint, I love you. Now, if she's with friends, what you have to do is you just have to engage the friends. This is how you open up parties. See, here's where men really fuck up. They think, oh, me. There's a hot girl. I want the ass. Let's just ignore all the friends and let's only focus on what I want because I'm really special and she's going to care. No, doesn't work like that. Engage the friends. You must engage the friends. Having social calibration means not being fucking stupid. In order to make her like you, the friends have to like you. Okay, if the friends don't like you, they're all going to pull her to the bathroom and they're going to say, you better not fucking go home with him because he's weird. And that happens. That's when they all go say, we're going to go to the girls' room, and they leave you. So start off and engage all of them. Get the names of all of them. Greet them. Ask what the occasion is that they're out, how they know each other. Establish some rapport. Once you establish rapport with the group, now you can start to lock in on your target. Why? Because the group already likes you. So now when you see one that you really want, what you can do is you can align the notion that you and her have chemistry. What you do is you start to talk to her more. You start to say, so how did you meet these group of friends? How do you know them? Are you the shy friend of the group? Are you the funny friend of the group? You can say, I kind of feel like you're the nerdy friend of the group. That's true, isn't it? All right, you start to poke at her. Build it up to where you're shifting the interaction more to one-on-one with her. Now notice we're in control at all times, and we're also giving her a great experience. When I say we're in control at all times, what does this mean? First, we approach them, which means we were the ones asserting our will onto them. And they took it. We were in control of that situation. Also, now that you made all of the friends your friend, now you can also lock in on your target. It's not like you're waiting to be chosen. You're actually choosing who you want to speak to. You're just doing it in a way that will get the best result. So what I need you to do once you now kind of are with the one that you have more chemistry with is you got to get her to start talking about herself. Not you talking about yourself, her talking about herself. If she asks questions about you, be slightly vague and don't go into super detail. Turn it back onto her and the idea of that you and her have chemistry. Now, what she likes, what she loves, and what she hates are all things you can talk about. And now when you have an angle out of any of these, now you can flirt. Because you got to realize you can't just tease out of thin air. You got to have something to tease about. Okay, does that make sense? If you say, "Hey, you're the nerdy friend of the group, aren't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am." You gotta say, "Oh, we're definitely not gonna get along then because I don't know if nerdy girls are the right fit for me." And you can say this smiling. You do it. You flirt with her. And obviously, I'm pulling stuff out of my ass. Like I don't know the situation because this is a fake party, and I'm staring at my computer screen right now. But you get what I mean. The whole time we're focused in on active listening, and this is another spot where the guys go wrong. They don't listen. She says what she does for a living, and you just asked it a second time. She says what her favorite color is, and you asked it a third time. It's like, dude, don't just ask questions for fluff and filler. Tell her why you're there eventually. And as you engage her in the group, I need you to still be genuine and still open her up and keep opening her up to get her talking to us. Now, if you can get her to keep talking to you, what that's going to do is that's going to make her feel like there's natural chemistry. Because you got to notice, if you can open her up, she now feels as if she keeps speaking to you on her own terms and on her own will. She feels like she wants to be there. And now she's coming to you. And now you get to just sit back and relax. And you want to get her doing about 70% of the talking because now she is the one talking to you. You're the one who gets to sit back and just reap the rewards of a woman liking you. This is how you open up parties. Okay, give everyone a good experience, talk to everybody, and then open the group, get everybody's names in the group, and once you have everybody's names, start to lock in on your target and then open her up. Build chemistry and understanding that this is a natural process. Hi everybody, in this module we're going to be discussing specifically how to open at bars. Okay, opening at bars is like one of the things almost all guys want to do because they get to a certain age they don't really go to house parties or anything like that. They're more so tied to the bar scene. Now, here's the thing. It's the same, everything we discuss is opening up at a party is the exact same as opening at a bar. What you got to remember at a bar is that a bar is just a big house party for adults. There's no rules. And this is the problem people get into a lot of times is they think that they got to just fit accustomed to like certain society rules or certain like rules that, you know, most people follow or most people think is appropriate. And that's just not true. Because as a 1%er, like the world is your playground. And you have to start looking at life like this. Here's the one thing though. There's two types of women that go out to bars a lot of times. You're going to be dealing a lot of times with number one, women who actually want to meet somebody. And these women will actually flirt back and have some fun. The second is going to just be women who want attention. And these are specifically just attention whores. Okay, if she's an attention whore, you gotta understand that she's not going home with anybody. She's not doing anything with anybody. She's not even interested in most men. She just wants to flirt or shake her ass or just get some attention. Now, there's ways to spot these women. They dress specifically just to get hit on. They usually know that they're hot. They may even flirt back, okay, but they will not let anybody escalate. They're oftentimes not going to give up their phone number. They're not going to give up, they're not going to go home with anybody. They're not doing that. They literally just dress up to get validation. Why do they do this? Because you got to realize they will dress just to get hit on but not give anybody an inch. They won't talk to anyone oftentimes or even give anybody an inch. Or sometimes they will speak to people and they'll flirt back. They'll talk to men back. And the thing is they'll just drain that man of his time and his energy. And then they're not going to let it go anywhere. You got to spot these because you got to remember that she doesn't want you. She wants your validation. She's not validated by sex like you are. Yeah, women are horny sometimes too, but not as much as men. Now, you got to pick up on these quick and move on. Because you want women who are genuinely interested in you if you go out. Okay, if you go out, like you still have to give good times. You still have to be genuine. You still have to come at it from the standpoint where you're giving and not taking. But you gotta spot these women quick. These women who seems as if they just want attention and validation from everybody are typically just the attention whores. They're dressing like it. They're acting like it. They're trying to be the center of attention on purpose. You want women who are genuinely interested in you. Okay, if they're not interested in you, we want to move on and we want to get away from those because attention whores are everywhere. They're on Snapchat, they're on Tinder, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook Messenger. Some women just can't be closed even if you do everything correct. She can be attracted to you, you can give her the best time ever. You can come at it from a standpoint where you're not dependent on sex or anything, and she still will just be out to just get attention. There's nothing you can do about it. Alright, fellas, opening at malls or coffee shops or anything like that. Here's the thing, a lot of guys overcomplicate this because the venue doesn't really change the fact that she still is a female and guys will just kind of overcomplicate things. They'll think, oh, well, if it's this setting, I gotta act different. If it's at how do you approach a woman at a gym? How do you approach a woman at a library? How do you approach a woman at McDonald's? How do you approach a woman at Starbucks? How do you approach a woman at the mall? It's like, dude, she's a girl. Just get good at approaching women. Needless to say, if you approach strictly in like a coffee shop setting or a mall setting or anything like that, you have to remember that you got to go in a little bit softer. Okay, that's the easiest way for me to sum this up. Half of this is mindset. Let me explain. If you think that meeting people is normal and part of being human, it will show. If you think meeting strangers is weird or icky or not normal, it will also show. So you have to only rely on this one. If you think the bottom is true, well, you're not going to get very far. You have to just think this is totally normal. This is normal. This is human nature. So if you're out and about, that's fair game. In fact, that's even better fair game because if you meet a woman out at like a mall or a coffee shop or something and you just stumble across her, let's say she was that attention whore girl on Saturday night at a club. If she meets you at a club, she will think that you're the type of dude that sits at a club. And she will probably scruff you off. However, if you meet her organically, like out and about, well, all of a sudden she's going to probably act totally different. This is probably your best bet. Okay, so social calibration's key. These are low-key places, so I need you guys to go in a little bit more mellow. If you're at a party or a bar, yeah, by all means, have fun. Go meet the friends. Be a little bit louder. Be a little bit more to the point. Get to know everybody quick. If you're out and about at like a coffee shop going mellow, it's a mellow situation. So this mood means going just a little bit softer than you would at like a bar, club, or party. And guys are usually stubborn at this point. You have to understand this. Guys are usually stubborn at this point. They think, oh, I'm just alpha, I'm a badass, I'm masculine, I'll go in however I want, Casey. No. No, 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 no. Anything that you've done in the past, don't keep doing it. Do it the way I tell you, the way that works. So this is like business, right? In order for us to get what we want, we must sell the perfect dream or interaction. For us to get what we want, we must do it in her language. What is her language? Her language, you got to realize, if she's out and about, she's not expecting to get stopped by a stranger. So if she does get stopped by a stranger, her guard is a little bit more raised, but that's okay, because if we go in softer and calibrated, well, now we're in her language. So there's two ways to open when you're at like a coffee shop or something. The first is just like a direct compliment, and this is more or less just a direct opener. You just tell straight up exactly why you're opening her. You say, hey, since I found like a cute little adorable chick just now at my favorite coffee shop, I figured it would be good if we met. All right, or like you could say something at the end, like, hopefully you're as cool as everyone else here, like I met, or something. Like, this is just something, like, especially this first part right here, that's just a direct open. But you gotta see how it's soft, right? Like an adorable chick at my favorite coffee shop. You say it calm, you say it smooth. You're soft with it. It's a soft, like, direct compliment opener. This isn't a bad thing. If she finds you an attractive man visually, especially visually, she's going to give you the time of day, and she's going to be open to speaking. The second is going to be a slight tease, but we do this a little bit like less offensive. Okay, if we're at a bar or a club, maybe we'll say the edgy thing. If we're out and about, we still tease her, but it's just probably not as brash. And we tease her about what she's doing, right? So you can say some shit like, as buried in your MacBook as you are, I mean, you look like you're about to explode. Like, take a chill pill, girl. What's going on? Okay, or you could say something like, I'm sorry, you have like the sweetest, most innocent look, but it's just like crushed by the whole workaholic girl mode in the MacBook right now. Okay, these are two teases where it shows that you're interested in her, but it also shows that like you're willing to like flirt and kind of offend a little bit. This sometimes can be a little bit more edgy or sexy in a woman's eyes. So in situations like this, it's extremely important to smirk or smile and be genuine and authentic. That's kind of the common phrase I keep saying in this. Here's why. Like, authenticity wins. Authenticity wins because people like real. Real recognizes real. And you need to be amazing, or she will sense the agenda and run. If she senses, oh, there's just another dude hitting on me, trying to have sex with me, rolls her eyes, leaves. That ain't what you want. You want this to go smooth, and that's how you can get whatever you do want. This is how you open at like a mall or coffee shop or out and about. Hi everybody, in this module we are specifically talking about how to actually give a good time to all. How to give a good time to everybody around us, so that way we have the maximum amount of goodness. That way we have the maximum amount of secret sauce, secret energy that women want to be a part of. You got to realize, when you're a man that can give and not always take, you win. Because everything in life is repelled by takers. Business, if you want to build a business, you got to give. You got to give back more than what you're expecting to receive. If you want to win with women, you got to give. Give a good occasion, give a good time, give that good genuine like vibe and feeling. If you want to win friends or influence others, you have to give. You have to speak in their language. You have to figure out what they want. Remember, number one, you have to arouse them in an eager want. Why? Why do you have to do this? Because people don't like being told things. Okay, they like to come to these things on their own terms, in their own conclusions, on their own time. If you start forcing things, if you start telling people how to think, how to act, how they should be, if you start telling them what you want and why they should give it to you, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that until you speak in their language and they realize that you have something valuable that they want as well. So think about women for a second. As much as many of guys in this group have been jaded by women, hate women, are pissed off at women because of how they are, how they flee, you got to understand what they're dealing with. They know most men just want to fuck them. And they know that most men lie and have a hidden agenda by being nice. That's why I say most nice guys are liars. Most nice guys just have a hidden agenda of sex, and they're not upfront about it. They're not honest. They're not genuine. And they know that most men will never love them unless they're an extremely sexual woman. The reason why most women are so promiscuous is because they think that is how they have to be. And they know that all men care about is their beauty. So this is what they live in, a superficial world that just judges them on superficial values. So literally be the exact opposite, and you will get all the pussy in the world, I swear to God. Because here's the thing, if you qualify her on how feminine she is, or how much she helps you out, or what sort of benefit she can add to your life beyond her looks, well, guess what's going to happen, fellas? You're authentic, and it seems like there's more to you than meets the eye. So how to give a good time? By you not trying right away to take her number or to have sex, or you get to know, why is this a typo? By you not trying to take her number or her sex, oh, excuse me, it's not a typo, I misread. You get to now focus on giving a good time. And because of this, women and people like you, and they will also give you a good time in return. I know that you think people won't because you've probably been jaded in the past. But what you have to remember is you have to remember people reciprocate energy. Try it. Walk down the shopping mall and smile at somebody. They will smile back. Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? If you do a nice gesture for somebody, oftentimes that person feels obligated to do a nice gesture back to you. It's common courtesy. The saying is this: make your free content better than most people's paid content, right? Or most people's paid programs. That's why if you look at my YouTube channel, most of the men say that, hey, Casey, your YouTube channel is so good. Your YouTube channel has so much info. I never need to buy anything from you. And that's fine. That's how I want it. I want my free content better than most people's paid programs because that means I'm giving quality. And many of you guys are here from my YouTube. Okay, you guys understand, like, there's power in being different, in being a man that's on a mission. Now, the thing that you got to also remember is this. It means that you basically, okay, so here's the correlation I want to make with this. The saying is this: make your free content better than most people's paid programs. And I just said that, and you guys probably understand that. But what does that actually mean? That means that you must make your agendaless, no agenda, agenda-less interactions better than most people's agendaed interactions. That means most people who give a good time only to try to get sex or to get a number or anything, you're going to make your agenda-less interactions better than most people's agendaed interactions. So give without expectation. This is the key to everything in life. Most people don't give, they just try to take. And I know you think that you give, but you really don't. You're only giving because you're giving in hopes of return of something. And every time I approach a woman, I always think this: how can I meet her and how can we have the most amazing time? Because if I meet her and we have the most amazing time, guess what's going to happen? She's going to love me and I'm going to love her and it's going to be great. Point blank period. You must realize that everybody feels the same as you. Okay, most people nowadays, fellas, they're lost, they're lonely, they're looking for someone to connect with. Like I said, it's your job to be that light at the end of the tunnel. It's your job. Like, this is all your job. In 2020 and so on, the man who's just the most human will win. Point blank period. We're really just losing our ability as men to be human. And if we can now be human, well, guess what? Now you're going to win everything, because most women aren't talking to men. They're talking to computer screens, and they're talking to boys on Tinder who don't know anything. So I'm glad you guys are enrolled in Blueprint, because this is the key to success. Hi everybody, in this module we're going to be discussing ditching the victim mentality. And this is the mentality that I see a lot of men start to run into when they get into masculinity and when they get into dating, when they get into, learning how to deal with women and female dynamic and keeping them hooked. a lot of them feel as if they are at the disadvantage or that somebody did them wrong in life. And let me explain what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys that they'll ask themselves this. They'll say, why don't people approach me? Or why doesn't she look at me first? Or why don't people talk to me first? Why does nobody ever engage me? Why is this happening to me? Why does it seem that nobody likes me? Okay, because the thing is the common theme of this course, you guys have noticed that I've been getting you guys to take action. I've been saying, hey, listen, nobody's going to just approach you. You have to start doing this stuff. You have to start taking initiative. You have to engage people. You have to talk to everybody. You have to start to be a social person. You have to be socially calibrated. Okay, and you might be asking yourself, well, why don't people ever look at me? Why don't people ever talk to me? Why does nobody approach me first? Why is this so hard for me? Me. And what I have down here is just shut the hell up, because like you probably are attractive, you just don't realize it. And you got to realize everybody else is just shy. Okay, this is so true. Let me explain what I mean. Everyone else is just shy. You got to understand this as you get into this sort of training. Most people that you see on the streets are followers and not leaders. You have to understand this. They act the same as everybody else. They're into the same things as everybody else. They don't know what to do. Most people don't have a very good head on their shoulders, and they're not a leader. They're definitely not a leader of other people, and most of the time they're not even a leader of their own life. Okay, and if they're not even a leader of their own life, how in the hell do they expect to lead others or potentially lead a female counterpart into a perfect interaction? Okay, the truth is that they can't. And you got to realize that this is why nobody actually takes interest in anyone first, is strictly because they're all scared of the outcome. Now, you got to realize everybody's in the same boat, fellas. Like, all men have these issues. All men have their heads hanging low, their heads drilled down into the cell phone, their heads that they can't just pull out of their ass and get it together. Like, everybody's honestly so fucked up and stuck in their own screen and their own keyboard. And you got to realize it is your job and your job only to get whatever that you want in life. Okay, nobody, and I repeat, nobody will give you it. Nobody's just going to give you the perfect woman. Nobody's going to give you the perfect job. Nobody's going to give you the perfect silver platter. It doesn't happen like that. It's your job to go out there and hunt, to search, to be a winner, to kill it. And if you can do this, you're going to get whatever the hell you want in life. But the thing is that you have to ditch this victim mentality first, because what you got to realize is that most people are shy. Most people are awkward, most people are hurt, and most people are damaged. Okay, this is men and this is women. And this is not a sympathy class where I'm going, oh, poor them, poor you, poor everybody. People just have to take the initiative and get it together. And this is why they don't connect with anybody. Okay, it's because nobody these days really knows how. It's not taught in school how to be social. It's not taught in college how to be social. What's taught in school is how to sit down and shut up and be a good boy. What's taught in college is how to go to class a few hours a week and then binge drink your problems away and tell yourself that that's socializing. Okay, it doesn't work like that. And then when you get to the work life, what you're also told is to sit down, shut up, and clock in on time. The reason why nobody can connect is because people aren't designed to sit in these boxes that society has them in. And then they expect everybody to just follow along and be a good boy. You can't do that. Fellas, I realize you have to have structure to your life. I realize you got bills to pay. I realize you have a job to go to. I realize you're doing this stuff. But in your free time, unplug. When you're at the gym, don't wear headphones. When you're at the gym, don't be on Instagram. Okay, when you're at a restaurant, put your phone in your pocket and leave it. Like, look up. You would be amazed who's around you. Beautiful women are around you. Amazing men are around you that are probably wanting to connect too. They just don't know how. You got to realize people are people. Now, most people, you got to realize this too. They're full of booze. They're full of porn. They're full of drugs. They're full of marijuana, and they're scared to death of life. They're scared to death of life. And because they're scared of life, they don't know how to act. And because they don't know how to act, they don't know how to approach you. That's why the ladies probably don't smile at you. That's why the men, when they're around you, just hang their heads low and in their phone. Everybody's sad. Everybody's sad and everybody's depressed. It's your job to kick ass. Now, here's the thing with this course. You got to understand this. It is your job to be the light at the end of the tunnel. not the ones searching for the light. You got so many guys that they're looking for the shiny object that they can cling to. They're looking for the shiny object to make them happy. Fellas, you have to be your own shiny object. You have to wake up and smile. You have to wake up and journal and tell yourself, I can do this. You have to wake up and tell yourself, I'm deserving of any girl I want. Because what most people do is they set their expectations too low. Okay, not too high, too low. And if you are a man, you are not a goddamn victim. You're a fucking leader. Why? Why do I say you're a leader? Because here's what you got to realize. Victims always lose and leaders always win. And here's the sad truth that happens. The sad truth is this. Let's say this is somebody's dream. Right here is the bar. And the bar is set high. Okay, the bar is set high. And in this dream bar, they have the dream girl, they have the dream job, they have the dream home. Okay, this girl is a 10 out of 10. The job, guess what? It makes 6 figures. And the home is nice. It's big, it's round, it's beautiful. Now, this is the bar. People realize that this bar to get to is very, very tough in life. So what do? Instead of keep pushing to their goals, keep telling themselves they're deserving of it, what do? They just set the bar lower. They go, oh, I'll settle. I'll settle for a girl who's a 6 out of 10. I'll settle for a job that only does $40K a year because that's what my friends make too, and I'm good. They also tell themselves, I don't need a big house anymore. I just need 2,000 square feet, and I'll be happy. I can fit all my stuff in here. Like, bro, this is what's fucking killing you. Is you don't put enough pressure on yourself. You got to realize this pressure is good pressure to level up, because what you're going to slowly realize is that you are the light. Because as you're walking around with this energy up right here, I got to get to my goals, up, I got to get to my goals, guess what? You're going to bring the people down here up with you. And people are going to want to gravitate towards you. The whole thing is that you have to not settle. You have to keep everything high. Keep it high, fellas. You're not a victim, you're a leader.
Hi everybody. Now, what I wanted to do in this module is I wanted to title this like, please realize this. Okay, for some people this is a harsh realization. For other people this is a realization that, they maybe already know, but they just need somebody to reassure them and to tell them. The fact is that she's craving a man to open her. Okay, she's craving this. If you need me to give you the go-ahead to have the excuse to do it, then use me. But you got to realize this. Men and women are designed to be together. She is a woman that's going through life, hoping that she can connect with a man, and wondering why every man that she does connect with always goes weak on her. Which means that you have to be the guy that can actually connect with her, understand that she's craving a man to open her so that way she can communicate and speak and get to know him. But you also got to be that man that's her rock, that's strong, okay? Now ask yourself this, why wouldn't she want to approach you? Because you have to realize that she and most women have been over-sexualized their whole life, all right? The whole culture has men porn addicted and focused on sex, which means that they're actually not able to specifically connect with a woman on any means beyond that. Like I said, no one's genuine. It all is a hidden agenda. And she probably hasn't met a single genuine man in her life that she wants to actually meet her. She hasn't met anybody. She's just met a bunch of guys that want to have sex with her or just use her. So why wouldn't she want you? Why wouldn't she want you to open her? The fact is that she 100% does. Because you like women, right? So she likes men. It's just like, it's the opposite. The sheer fact that you actually have a dick should be enough to prove to yourself that you can be attractive and that you can make women like you. There is no secret sauce. You just got to be a man. And a lot of men actually forget this. Okay, they're like, since, they think things like, if they practice masculinity coaching for XYZ amount of months, now they're ready. It's like, no, dude. Do you think that she's in a femininity course? The chance is probably not. She just is a flirty woman.
which means you just have to be a strong, stable, rational man. Like, that's it. It's very, very simple. There's no secret sauce. You just got to do what you're hardwired to do. Now, if sex happens, great. But if not, like, who cares? Stop being so dependent on the outcome. Who cares? Like, for once, there may actually be true chemistry. And there's true chemistry due to the fact that you're not dependent on the outcome. You're not dependent on her sex. When you stop giving a fuck, results truly come. Okay, and results will truly come when you no longer care about if they come or not. Now, when you have something to offer these women through putting in the work or raising your status, raising yourself to be a higher vibrational man or a man with better status, you've leveled up. And when you have leveled up, you start to actually attract people that want to meet you. Okay, when you attract people that want to meet you, you're all of a sudden attracting the right type of energy. Now, you must realize that there is strength in being joyful, because being masculine means that you have the strength to be radically different than the direction where most are heading. And when you radiate positivity and joy and genuine happiness, everything will just fall into place. You see, masculinity is not about being a cold, just grumpy asshole. It's about you being a man that's able to get what he wants because you're high on life. Okay, you're building something better than what you once had.
Hi, everybody. This module is titled Red Velvet Rope Exclusivity. Okay, so you might be wondering what this means or why you as a man need to carry yourself with some sort of, feeling or sense of being exclusive. The thing is that you can't be available to all people. And I'm going to explain to you why this is like the best benefit and the best hack that you can have for anything. So what you got to understand is like women need hoops to jump through in order to make her feel as if you are her prize. And no, this isn't like to sound cruel, but this is literally to raise her interest and status of you, because you got to realize women love the chase, which is why they love to try to lock down the bad boy. So think of it this way. Status is the number one thing that anybody will pay for. Status makes somebody feel exclusive or important. This is why they use words like VIP hotel room or complimentary package or presidential suite or guest list only, or anything that makes a person feel really important. Okay, people want to feel important. She wants to feel as if she's important in this life. She wants to feel, that she has status. This is why people buy name brand things. Like, what is your brand as a man? What's your brand recognition? Right? If anybody can get access to the red carpet no longer means anything. You need the red velvet rope exclusivity to yourself. So think of it like a job interview. Okay, the place who hires you instantly versus the place who made you do 6 interviews with three different executives first. Which job are you going to take more seriously? Well, you're obviously going to take the job that you had to jump through 6 different interviews with 3 different executives to get. And all of a sudden, that employee feels honored to be in the company. Now, you got to see, most men have no standards with women, which is why they don't have any sort of successes with them. It's because they're just willing to take anything. If you all of a sudden make yourself the prize and you make a girl qualify to you before you agree to, date her, get in a relationship with her, or even see her exclusively and be willing to give up your time to her, if you make it very clear to her that you have your own mission, you have your stuff going on, and you have to make sure she's the right fit for you, man, if you display that verbally, she's going to feel like you're a guy with some options. You're a guy who's used to meeting women. You're a guy who doesn't just settle. That is going to be one of the most attractive things to her. Now, when you say, hey, when you show her that in this interview, these dates or whatever, you got to realize just women need to really see and view you as high status 24/7. So when you say words like, hey, let's see if we get along, but actually mean it, that says 1,000 words. When you say to a woman, let's see if we get along, meaning I'm not sold on you yet. I don't know if I like you yet. When you say those things, man, it's going to register 1,000 different words in her head. She's going to go, man, this guy's pre-selected. This guy has multiple options. I wonder if I'm in competition between another woman. Like, that's what's going to go through her head. Also notice, for once, the man is unique. The man's honest. The man is genuine. He's not just trying to get laid. But guess what? Now she will try to qualify to you because you're not sold right out the gate on her. And guess what? You will be the one that she wants, like instantly. If you have some sort of standard or some sort of qualification process, it's the same as an application process. It's the same as anything. You know, people want to feel exclusive. It's just like in Blueprint. You probably feel exclusive because you can become part of this community with everybody every week. So it's the same in business, it's the same in finance, it's the same as employment. It's like the 6-step application process, the VIP guest room. They want to weed out who's real and who's fake. Okay, that's your job. Your job with these dates is to weed out the real women from the fake women. The women you have true chemistry with from the women you don't. I've been there before. I've tried to force, chemistry with women I didn't have a connection with. It makes the sex awkward. It makes everything awkward. It makes the whole like fundamental setup just not good. So start being a man that's coming from the standpoint of being the chooser, so that way you can actually navigate this the right way.